single flame can light a million more.
Oh man, okay. Oh, what the shit's going on? I was all zoomed in from the other video I shot last night. Vincent, it's your time, buddy. Benson's called me every day. Did you look at it? No. 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 And that's when he finally starts getting a little BBI. Did you look at it? No, I didn't. God damn it, BBI. I was like, okay, I'll look at it. So I came home and I dug through the tower of forest of cardboard and I dug out Vincent Lepore's varment. This is the XL600, which is 2 tubes driving 4. It's like the 6LF6, 6LQ6 class. Now, remember when I'm pointing at stuff on the screen, the camera does not show depth. See that? My hand hasn't moved at all. So when people in YouTube land think I'm touching the top of the tube, which I'm not, there's like a mile of space here and another half a mile of space here because I'm terrified of electricity. It scares me because it will kill me deader than a doornail. Period. And especially this little bastard. These tubes are designed to have about 600-700 volts on the anode. There's the top of the titty on the top of the tube. See, once again, does not show depth perception. Just want to point that out for everybody, because everybody, I get all these comments all the time. My God, you're gonna die. You're reaching over the top of the amplifier. Well, see, the thing is, the workbench is at like 4.5 feet, right? And I'm 6'5", so when I reach over the amplifier to do something with the bird meters, it's like 1.5 miles of space. So as I wave my magic hands over to Shmoo, let's not freak out. Anyhow, I dug it out and I took a quick look at it. Now, Vincent, I gotta tell you, brother, I opened up the cabinet, or opened up the box, and there's this red spew all over this, and I'm like, is that blood? Man, that sure looks like dry blood to me. See that? And it continues on the inside. Now it's some kind of marker dye for something. It's like Loctite or something. I don't know what that is, but I got out the rubber gloves, pulled them up to the elbows because I'm not, dude, look. I've had a little bit of everything come through here over the years. I had a Palomar 98 that had a bullet hole in the front of it, and it looked like dried brain matter on the front. Come to find out, the guys that owned it, got raided by the cops and shot, and yeah, I ended up fixing it, but yeah, man, I've had all kinds of weird stuff show up here. So I put the rubber gloves on up to the elbows. We got it out of the box. We tried to clean that off. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to leave that as B Vincent. But other than that, we went through this thing top to bottom. Now this thing's been upgraded somewhere along the line. It's got SB220 blocking doorknobs, which are about twice what that actually needs, but it works good. Doesn't hurt to have too much capacitance at that point in the circuit. Just changes the tuning cue, which is not a big deal. Now, Vincent sent me some hate mail, and I got to be full frontal about this hate mail here. Let's see. I fixed Vincent's little X-Force box. He says it's working great, but I need to cut him some slack because I didn't fix the preamp. Or did the preamp go bad again? I don't know. It's okay, I understand, Vincent. I thought everything would be working on it. No preamp, did not get fixed. I need the preamp fixed and amp fixed on the permit. He sent me up a new set of tubes with it. So Vincent, I'm going to be a complete dick and I'm not going to fix your preamp, and I'm just going to send it back to you the way it is. No, I'm kidding. I fixed this. It's all fixed. So, this is your receive amp, and this is also your operate standby switch, okay? Now, this box is very confusing. You normally have an on, low, medium, high, preamp, standby, operate, right? Okay, so this box has 2 taps on the primary and a center tap, and they float the center tap of the transformer. So this is the high tap for high voltage. That's the low tap for low voltage, and then this is how they float the center tap of the transformer. Now on the front, these are metal switches. On the back, they're all plastic insulated, and this is a little dangerous, but man, it sure runs good with the center tap floated. On the high, which would be high, high, and high, there's almost 1,000 volts on the top of those tubes. On the super mod, there is about 900, and it runs a whole lot better on super mod, by the way, Vincent. So this is your operate standby switch. So that's preamp on. When it's in standby, the preamp is still on, and that's receive amp off. That's your AM and sideband delay. Now everybody thinks, okay, we got our input tune. No. What they've got here is a variable voltage on the bias control for the tube, which is kind of cool for sideband. And this knob only works when it's down in sideband mode. So you can increase and decrease your power output on sideband by controlling the bias on the tube. Now, there's an input tuner on the back, Vincent, right there. Right there. Okay. And then its parent partner you'd think is in the front. No. This knob is a fine adjustment. The parent partner to that tuner that's on the back is actually mounted on the floor of the deck, and you can adjust it with that screw setting right there. Okay? So if you want fine, is up here. But your 2 coarse adjustments for your tune and load on the input are the front and then down through the top. So we started going through this thing, and before I even plugged it in or turned it on or put it on the Variac and slowly brought it up or any of that stuff, I had a couple things that instantly popped to my mind's eye. So this is the Ormite plate choke that comes from the driver tube section over here through the coil system to go to drive the final stage. Now, somewhere along the lines, the wire angels came along and caused this Ormite cap, this Ormite choke, to get a little hot and burn the coils off. Well, somewhere along the line, somebody took a couple turns out of the choke, watered them together, soldered it up, and then tried to solder these legs together, which made this choke resonant. Okay? Which was causing a problem. If you can see the discolorization from it going resonant. And then on the output side of life, see down in there, there's a brand new Ormite plate choke that I've installed for you, Vincent. Okay. Now, I got some boys that are in the South, and they're good friends of mine. I respect these guys, and they've got their way of doing things. I call it hillbilly engineering, and I freaking love it because it's some of the most creative, out-of-the-box thinking I've ever seen in my entire life. Right? This isn't one of those things where you can do a little bit of hillbilly engineering. This is what was in there for the plate choke on the output side. So this is the plate choke off the driver's section, and this is the plate choke for the final section. And we had this wrapped in duct tape, which at high voltages duct tape does conduct. So anything at about 500-600 volts, it acts as a capacitor, which allows leakage, which is what we want to avoid. So I give you guys credit for this ID of device. It would be close. You'd have to add about 6 more turns to this, but the wires were soldered together. That was cool, and this was held together with great duct tape. But This isn't ferrous rod or non-conductive material. This is a piece of coax. But good thinking out of the box, because that's all a plate choke is a non-conductive material with a long turn of wire on it that is non-resonant to the frequency of operation. So it makes the RF want to go the other direction and allow the DC to come on up, because RF will always take a path of least resistance. But Vincent, you're squared away, man. Your preamp is on, bro. This is high, super mod, and low. We're going to start out in the low mode. We're actually going to put the amp in standby for a second. We're going to do a lap around the van. Okay, so this is a 1,000 watt slug in PEP, all right? 1,000 watt slug in bird average, or coaxial dynamics average. 5 watt slug in reverse back from the bird 10,000 watt dummy load. 5 watt slug sitting between the varment and the 2950. Hello. Hello. Just putting about 20 watts worth of drive peak into this old girl. You know, we're going to go into receive amp. So now we're in operate mode. 20 watts worth of drive from a 1 watt dead key. Hello. Hello. Way to the danger. I'll call you back, Brian Smith. I'm shooting a video, buddy. So anyhow, hello. About 400 peak, about 130, 140 bird. Yeah. So now we're going to go to high mode setting in low mode. Hello. Do you see what chat changed? A dead key came up. Hello. So instead of having almost no dead key at 1 watt worth of drive, so this, what remember, this changes the center tap. By changing that voltage up even higher, brings the dead key up. Now, we're going to go to high mode. We're still in AM, and we're fully tuned out. 1 watt dead key. Hello. 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 Remember, that's in super mod mode. My favorite setting in this box, actually. I think it's friggin' awesome. We're gonna bring it over to the high mode setting. Spike that mic. 200 watt dead key. Hello. Hello. And that's the maximum you're gonna get out of this for bird, is about 200, 210 watts. If you look at that the middle scale, hello. Hello. See, that's not falling back. You set your dead key higher than a watt, watt and a half with this box, your average power is going to be falling back, which is not what you want. You want it to move and modulate just a hair forward. That's the maximum point of forward movement and peak power. Now, when it's wiggling like that, just wiggling forward like that, you're building ass tons of peak power. But that's set up perfect. Now, real quick, because I got to call my buddy Brian Smith back. Hello. One whole whopping stinking like 7/8 of a watt of reflect coming into it. So don't touch this knob. Remember, this is just for fine adjustment. Okay, this is your drive level, but really when you get back in there, that's all that is, an error variable. Don't touch this knob back here, Vincent, because it was way out of whack when it got here. And don't touch that knob. This little tuner adjustment, right? I'll point my shadow. Right there, don't touch that. Leave it alone. And it'll run a million years. So your new tubes are installed. Box is relatively cleaned up. Blew the fan out for you. Cleaned up a bunch of solder work on the bottom. Put some new chokes in it for you. Burned the tubes in, got it running. Bam, you're off to the races and running. Vincent, I appreciate you sending this puppy up to me, man. I do. And gentlemen, I appreciate every single thing that I get from you guys, that I get to work on for you guys. I know I've been dragging here lately, boys. Been dragging on the new builds, been dragging on the repairs. I've got this giant black monster behind me that I am like, literally like just this, pop it like I said, just this close to being done with. And I hope to have it finished by the end of this weekend, and then we can get back to business as normal. I'm going to tear through repairs the next 2 weeks. That's the only thing I'm doing. All new builds have been put on hold for at least 2 weeks, and I'm going to tear through new builds. I have to get some repairs out of here. I have no physical room to move around anymore. And then let's see, who's up next? I think my buddy Hobby Dave down there in California. I think I got a couple 6-built base stations I got to build for him. So, gentlemen, that's where we're at. Let's see if I can float around some more, because I'm not looking at the viewfinder on the camera. I see you guys. I appreciate your all support, and I appreciate you for checking out the video. Varment XL600. I'll see ya. Bye.